You come home. Something is wrong and you know it immediately. The chewed cushion, the overturned trash can, the shoes that are now in 3 pieces. And your dog, before you've said a single word, is already doing it. Head low, ears flat, eyes wide and soft, avoiding yours. Tail tucked between their legs, possibly wagging slowly at the bottom. You look at that face and you feel certain. They know what they did. They feel guilty. You are almost certainly wrong. And the science behind why completely reframes what is actually happening between you and your dog in that moment and what it tells you about how well your dog actually reads you. The study that changed everything. In 2009, Alexandra Horowitz, a canine cognition researcher at Barnard College in New York, designed a study specifically to test whether the guilty look in dogs was what it appeared to be. She set up a simple scenario. Dog owners told their dogs not to eat a treat, then left the room. While they were gone, some dogs ate the treat and some didn't. Then the owners returned, but here is the key part of the study. Horowitz told some owners their dog had eaten the treat when it hadn't, and told some owners their dog had not eaten the treat when it had. She wanted to see whether the guilty look appeared in response to what the dog had done or in response to how the owner behaved when they returned. The results were unambiguous. The guilty look had almost no correlation with whether the dog had actually done anything wrong. It had an extremely strong correlation with how the owner acted. Dogs who had done nothing wrong but whose owners were told they had eaten the treat showed the full guilty display. Dogs who had eaten the treat but whose owners were told they hadn't showed almost no guilty behavior at all. The guilty look is not guilt. It is a response to you, to your face, your posture, the energy you brought through the door. What is actually happening? When a dog displays the behaviors we read as guilt, the lowered head, the flattened ears, the averted eyes, the tucked tail, they are performing what animal behaviorists call an appeasement display. It is a deeply instinctual social behavior that dogs use when they detect tension, displeasure, or threat from a dominant social figure. In other words, they see something in your face, your posture, your voice, or the environmental cues around them that tells them you are not happy. And their social instinct, honed over thousands of years of living in close proximity to humans who they depend on entirely, is to immediately signal non-threat, to make themselves small, to communicate. I am not a challenge to you. I mean no harm. Please don't be angry with me. This behavior evolved not to express an internal emotional state, but to de-escalate social tension. It is not confession. It is conflict avoidance, and it is activated not by what the dog did, but by what the dog reads in you. What is extraordinary about this is what it actually demonstrates. It means your dog is so finely attuned to your emotional state and your nonverbal cues that they can detect your displeasure the moment you enter a room, sometimes before you've made a single sound. The guilty look is not evidence that your dog feels bad about what they did. It is evidence that your dog is reading you with extraordinary precision. The question of dog emotions. This raises a deeper question that researchers are still actively debating. Do dogs feel anything like guilt at all? True guilt, as psychologists define it, requires a specific cognitive capacity. You must be able to recall a past action, evaluate it against a moral or social standard, connect that action to a current consequence, and experience negative affect specifically about the action itself, not simply about the current situation. This is a complex, self-referential cognitive process that requires a kind of autobiographical memory and moral self-awareness. Current evidence does not support the conclusion that dogs have this full capacity. Their episodic memory, the ability to recall specific past events and connect them to current circumstances, appears to be significantly more limited than ours. A dog who destroyed a cushion 3 hours ago and then greets you at the door is almost certainly not thinking about the cushion. They are responding to you, in this moment, with the sensory and social information available to them right now. This does not mean dogs feel nothing. They feel a great deal. Fear, joy, distress, affection, frustration, contentment. The emotional range of dogs is real, documented, and neurologically grounded. But guilt, specifically the self-critical, retrospective emotion we experience when we violate our own moral standards, the evidence for that in dogs is thin. What dogs do have is something related but different: sensitivity to social harmony. They are deeply motivated to maintain positive relationships with the humans they depend on. They monitor those relationships constantly. And when something disrupts the harmony, when you walk in with a different energy than usual, they respond immediately and instinctively to restore it. What this means for how you relate to your dog. If the guilty look is not guilt, then scolding a dog for something they did hours ago is not teaching them anything useful. Research in animal behavior is consistent on this. For a consequence to function as learning, it needs to happen within seconds of the behavior. Anything beyond a minute or two, and the dog genuinely cannot connect the consequence to the action. They are not withholding that connection, it is simply not available to them. When you come home, discover the damage, and then express anger at your dog, what your dog experiences is, "My person came home and was frightening." They don't connect it to the cushion. They connect it to the arrival. If this happens repeatedly, research suggests it can actually increase anxiety in dogs around homecoming, the opposite of the association you want to build. The appeasement display they offer is real, but it is a stress response, not a moral reckoning. Recognizing that is not excusing bad behavior or giving up on training. It is simply understanding what is actually happening in your dog's mind so that your responses can be genuinely effective. The deeper reading. Here is what the guilty look research really shows once you look past the initial counterintuitive finding. Your dog is watching you so carefully, reading your signals so precisely, that they can detect a shift in your emotional state the moment you enter a space. They are processing your facial expression, your posture, the rhythm of your movement, the tonal qualities of any sounds you make, and the chemical signals your body is broadcasting all simultaneously. The guilty look, misread, looks like moral awareness. Correctly understood, it is something arguably more impressive. A level of attunement to a specific human being that has no parallel in any other species. Your dog doesn't know what they did wrong, but they know you. And the moment something is different about you, they know that too. The reveal, that face, the ears down, the soft eyes, the small, shrinking posture is not your dog confessing. It is your dog saying, with everything they have, "I can see that something is wrong between us, and I cannot bear that. Tell me we're okay." They're not guilty. They're paying attention. They love you enough to monitor you so closely that a change in your face when you walk through the door is enough to shift their entire body into appeasement mode. That is not nothing. That is, in its way, everything. The next time you see that look, try something. Before you say a word, before your face settles into whatever it was going to settle into, look at your dog neutrally, calmly, with a relaxed face and easy posture. Watch what happens. Watch how fast the display fades. Watch your dog recalibrate toward normal in real time, because they were never responding to what they did. They were responding to you. They're always responding to you. Did this change the way you see that look? Tell us in the comments. And if you want to understand more about what's actually happening in your dog's mind, subscribe. Every week, we go deeper into the science of the dog you thought you knew.